Hi, and welcome to day 18 of 24 Days of Whiskey. I've got my team with me today, actually, or some of my team. Some of them are actually still working, which is quite scandalous at this time on a Friday. And we'll jump straight in and open up day 18. So basically, I've got my team here. I'm going to show you a SOC and a ransomware demonstration now. So SOC stands for Security Operations Center. Some of the team have seen this video before, but some haven't. And I'll just share my screen just while we're waiting for that to kick through. So this all starts off straight away with effectively a email. So this is the preamble to this is that there's a HR lady who's been having a conversation with someone on LinkedIn. Guess what? It's not a good guy. He's a bad guy. And they sent the resume to download. So let me just hit play. So the whiskey I've got is single grain Irish whiskey. So Adam, are you still on the slow gin?
Yeah. I'm on a little refill actually of the slow gin, and it's very nice. Yes.
Cool. Chris, you're driving a little bit later, so you're not drinking, I believe. And same with Will. But LC, you're on the red wine.
Indeed.
And Sam, what are you drinking tonight?
Water.
Okay. Good to be young, right? So let's just play the video and follow this through. So clicked on the email, got the attachment through. Guess what? It's got macros in it. So what does the HR lady do? But she does this all day, every day. She's going to enable the content here. So as soon as she enables the content, we'll start see this kicking through. You can see the images in the background of the screen, data from a local machine, and some desktop icons, and this will show you the ransomware content. Okay. So let's just wait for this to kick through. Just move this on slightly. So yeah, she's just going to enable the content now. And in the background, by the way, on the left is the the SOC service you can see. So she's executed it. Suddenly you can see on the SOC service there's some alerts that come through over there. And you can still see the images down there. But in just a second when this kicks through, guess what? Ransomware. So, my guys, how many times have we seen this ransomware of late? I don't think we have seen a ransomware in quite a while, but back in the old Wild West days of 6-7 years ago, this wasn't uncommon for us to see some of this, right?
No, you'd see a couple every quarter, to be fair, back a while back, but no, I don't think we've had any significant breaches for a while.
Yeah. So the things to note on this is one is all those photos and all the desktop icons have disappeared, but also you can see the red screen behind. And actually, quite a few people, if I just keep on playing this now, quite a few people probably have never seen that screen. But guess what? They're asking for Bitcoin. It's got a decrypt key in there. Your decrypt key will be destroyed within a certain period of time. So that is 3 days from now. Okay, so you're on a time clock, right? If you don't pay the Bitcoin, you're not necessarily going to get your data back. So this is generally where, if we did see this at a client, this is when we would generally get a call, person getting a bit panicky at this stage. Usually, by the way, this is a Monday morning, first thing Monday morning, because guess what? The ransomware runs on a Friday night. It generally starts off 6-7 o'clock at night, then it has a whole weekend to go across the whole network and encrypt everything here. So at this point, the NOC or SOC have got the alert through. We would have had the alert through, and actually the whole point of the SOC video is that's just frozen on me. No, okay. The whole point of the SOC is actually they try and do this. This would all be done before we even get in, before you even know, effectively, in the morning. So what they're going to do now is start resolving these issues, and we can see some data, and the SOC will be looking at this. Where has this come from? where's the location of it, what the SHA-1 key is, what the hard disk volume it is on there. And there's quite a bit of information there that we can see, different classifications. This is a ransomware here. So, guys, if you had a ransomware alert, you would love to see this stuff, right? You would want to see all that detail so you can see what the version is, what the IP address is, what the external IP address is. You can see how it's executed. Is that useful to you guys in terms of dealing with this attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely saves a lot of legwork for sure. Hours of research.
Yeah, well, some of the information you can't even find, can you? If it's after the fact. You know, we've seen it before when attributes of files get completely deleted, so you can't see anything about them anymore.
Yeah. So also the other thing I'd say is at the top there, you've got the identified time and reporting time. How quick is that? You know, this isn't beefed up because it's a demo. This is actually just live on the internet, and actually the agent has pushed that through. So first thing that's happened here is the SOC has actually just disabled that from being able to access the internet. So it will disconnect all the PC, the laptop, from being able to interface with anything else on the network. So it stops the ransomware from
So
spreading.
Liam, direct, obvious question there. They've just disconnected that from the internet. How are they going to connect back to it?
Because it stops all the other ports apart from a specific one and the link to the agent. So they can actually still.
Okay, they've got a port open to their agent.
So what they're doing here is they're pinging 8.8, which is one of Google's servers, and it's just showing that actually they've got no access to the internet now, and that's just really to stop the spread to other machines and other infection. You know, stopping the infections on other machines. They're now going to look at it and see what's happened. So winword.exe has got one child object which has gone to that temp file.exe, and then it's gone to hello.exe. If it was more sophisticated ransomware attack, in fact, you'd see it spanning, you know, pages and pages of things, but you can still generally click into those and see what the timeline is of those as it moves through. You can see what the process type is. You can see all that kind of stuff, you know, time, date, etc. And actually, when you're dealing with a ransomware attack, having that information is fantastic. Generally, we don't have that information, or not always have that information. Here you go. You can see the hello.exe is actually called two processes, and that's actually run
VSS admin.
Yeah, VSS.
Grab that to kill the shadow copies, wasn't it?
Kill the shadow copy so you can't restore the thing. Okay. The idea is here that you can't see it, and there you go. You can see it's run a registry key as well. So that's quite scary. You know how quickly that's happened on that machine, and you imagine that's going across the network, infecting a whole network drive, and taking all your data. That's actually quite a really quite scary place to be in, and certainly. When we used to deal with this back in the day, we were having to restore because we don't want you guys to have to pay the ransom. And Chris, you know, I know you've been speaking to some of our clients and some of the security training we've been doing. You talk about a previous job where someone actually had to pay the ransom and what that was like. I won't get you to go into it now, but if anyone wants to talk to Chris, give Chris a call about that. So you can see VSS, what's it done, what the parent process is. You can see the date and time it's ran, etc. When it created the process and all that.
Just to talk a little bit about the ransom, how much Bitcoin, out of curiosity, are they asking for? Because to put that into gravity, a lot of people don't know what Bitcoin are, but one Bitcoin's current value is £16,850 at this moment.
16,000 now, is it? Okay.
Yes, 16,850, and it breached over 17,000 yesterday. So they're not cheap. So
so quite often it's what the market value is on this. You know how much ransomware is out there. It actually adjusts from what I've seen on in terms of how many machines, how many gigs of data it's infected, and various other things. It has like an algorithm for working out how much Bitcoin to charge you. Because if you've got 5 terabytes worth of data, you're going to pay more, right, to recover that than if you've got 200 meg. So in this instance, I don't know. I can't remember what the previous screen. No doubt we'll go back to it. So we're now looking at what network actions it's taken. So this is quite an important thing. Actually, I'll just take it back a few seconds there. This is actually saying what has this PC communicated with? What else has this touched? So even if there is not a SOC service running on another machine, or you've got a guest in your network, this service will actually be able to tell you whether this machine and this infection has actually had interaction with those other devices and what the interaction is. So it stops the spread of this across unknown areas, and it's quite common that that a ransomware infection or a cyber, SOC isn't just here for ransomware, but also it will deal with other types of infections that actually, guess what, it's talking out across the network. It's trying to propagate, it's trying to get out there, it's trying to not only encrypt your data, but it's also trying to send itself onto all your contacts. And this will be able to identify all of that all in one place. So now we're going to mitigate actions. So what do we want to do? We want to remediate, okay? So effectively, it will kill it, quarantine it, and it will actually remediate the issue. Okay, so it'll roll it back effectively. So action was successful on 110 threats. And if we go back to the machine, what we'll see in just a second, it does just take just a second, is that the icons have already come back on the desktop, which is brilliant. We'll see the ransomware message behind disappear, and we'll actually see the photos come back. The only thing we won't see is the desktop background come back, because that's actually a log-on process that's needed for that, and you need to reboot the PC. And just give it a second. It'll just come back in just a second. It always takes longer in a live demo, and you can imagine if you've got a lot of data, this could take a fair few minutes to do it. But again, on the portal, to actually pulling this back down onto the PC, how quick was it? And then what we should see immediately after that, after everything has been remediated, we should see the pings, I believe, start working. So guys, just thinking back to that ransomware attack we had back in the day, if we had a facility like this, how much grief would this have saved us?
Well, yeah, leaps and bounds. I mean, we've spent one that I can think of. We spent a week out, a couple of engineers out for an entire week, just trying to restore machines and claw back bits and pieces of data that they could here and there from backups. It led to an entire week of downtime for a start. So just look at the value that that's going to save. It's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah. So we're also now going to roll it back as well. So we've now stopped all the issues. We're now going to roll it back, and we're going to be able to connect the machine back to the desktop, back to the internet effectively. So we'll see that ping come back now. Pictures are back. Excellent. So it's rolled back all your data, and we'll see the machine start talking back.
So the one thing I will point out is obviously in this example, it's got 4 images.
Yeah.
It won't always be that quick.
No, of course not. And the other thing to be aware of here is there's different types of data. This is an excellent service, and actually the rollback should be fairly quick actually to switch it back. But yeah, if you're talking terabytes of data, guess what? It's not gonna do it, right? And like I say, you won't get your desktop back until you reboot the machine. So there you go, back on the internet, all remediated, all sorted. And SOC will continue to monitor that at a higher level to make sure.
Seems too good to be true, doesn't it, Liam?
Yeah. So on this particular one, I believe there is still a money back guarantee. So if there is an infection, they will pay you back quite handsomely. A fee if they're unable to remediate the issue. So not that it'll stop the infection. No one can promise they'll stop the infection. But if they're unable to remediate the issue, if they're unable to stop it and unable to restore data, they'll pay it back. So yes, it can seem too good to be true, but I'll be honest with you, it is what it is, right? Sometimes it won't be able to come back. You won't there'll be a new 0-day threat, and we've talked about 0-day before. But they'll pay you and help you along that way. Plus, don't forget these SOC services, they just exist to learn about this stuff. So they're going to throw all this resource at you if they can't get you back easily, quickly, to understand what the threat is. And guess what? They're going to really try and get you back. But cyber insurance is still you still need that. You still need antivirus. You still need
and importantly, you still need backup and business continuity, right?
Correct.
Let's not get into a false sense of security here that you can buy a SOC service, and because they can roll you back, you don't need your backups. That's not true.
Correct.
You absolutely still have to invest properly in that. Whether it's on-prem, whether it's cloud, that's a key need still. How are you going to protect your data? You've got to have multiple backups.
Correct. So a ransomware attack is only one threat.
Exactly. It's one type of security breach. There's loads.
You've got you've got mistakes. People make mistakes, delete data. You still need your backup for sure. This is just adding an extra layer on top to make your business continuity from a ransomware attack, your instant response, quicker and better.
Yeah.
What it doesn't deal with is hardware failures.
Doesn't deal with hardware failures. Doesn't deal with acts of God, flash floods, fire.
It doesn't deal with SolarWind patch breaches.
No.
Not necessarily. No.
The other thing. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the other thing to bear in mind as well is that, like they've said, that they'll pay you quite handsomely if they can't do something about it. Guess what? If they can't do something about it, you still need your data.
Exactly.
If you can't get that back, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make that point, but I think it's a fantastic product, and I think it's a fantastic addition within a comprehensive IT security strategy. And it's not the cheapest layer to put in, right? It's not, but it's certainly a strategic one. And I think it's something that a lot of companies should look at seriously because of that peace of mind that it can give.
So all you guys on here then, because I've talked about what I think is just the basics that companies should be doing, full stop. What do you guys think the basics a company should do around IT security? I'm just interested in what you guys think. Sam, maybe.
Well, it's pretty much as what Adam said. Having a way of being able to back up, as well as having that extra layer of dealing with ransomwares, not just having to rely on backups, etc., is definitely something that gives you a bit more confidence in your IT infrastructure. But
what would your first layer be, Sam? If someone was coming to you saying, "I'm starting a company up tomorrow. What do I need?" What's the first thing you'll say to them?
Well, it depends. And
that's a good answer. That is a good answer. That's the right answer, Liam. Yeah,
no, it's not a bad answer at all. I mean, for me, it would be antivirus, right? My first thing I would say is definitely have antivirus. That is a given, and actually not just even a free one, a paid for one. You can see we didn't rehearse that bit, did we, Sam?
No.
So great. So thank you for watching. If there's any questions, we're all
just before you
happy about you. Sorry.
Just before you end, I was just going to say, so you've just talked about all of the cons, just very quickly. You've just talked about all of the pros, but you didn't mention any cons, and there must be at least a con for this.
There's a cost.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the only con?
It's not cheap. It's very good value if it saves your business. It's extremely good value, or extremely cheap if it saves your business. But you have to budget. You have to build this into your budget plans. You have to understand that running a business in the 21st century today means you have to allocate funds for cybersecurity defenses, and that's as simple as it is. And otherwise, you're going to come unstuck, and you're going to risk losing your business.
Yeah, brilliant. I think that's a great place to end it on. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Liam, for that. Very good.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.